Hey, Fragrance Family, I'm Daver.
And I'm George.
And we're the Fragrance Bros.
Fragrance Bros!
Coming at you again with another review with guest host George from Fragrance Apprentice. How you doing, George?
I'm always doing all right. Don't worry about it. You don't have to worry about me, David. How are you doing?
Dude, I'm doing great. Great to have you on again. And today we are reviewing Boss Bottled Night by Hugo Boss. All right, so let's get straight to it. Date introduced is 2010. It's classified as a woody aromatic. Notes are birch leaf, cardamom, lauro amarello wood, and musky notes.
What? Is that it?
Yeah.
They gave up halfway through that fragrance.
All right, so George, what do you get out of longevity out of this?
You know what? I'm going to say excellent. I get really excellent longevity. I have to give this fragrance that lasted pretty much 12 hours dead on.
Yeah.
Consistently.
Yeah.
12 hours, just maybe a little bit more, so it's great.
I did too, and I thought it was a fluke, but it's not. Yeah, excellent. And with this type of fragrance, it really surprised me because I thought this was going to go away like that. I thought it was going to go away really quickly, but it lasted a long time. Now, what about projection?
The projection, after about 2 hours, is really not good. In fact, it really pulls away onto your skin, and it gives the impression that it's just not going to last.
Yeah.
But it constantly stays at a near skin scent level.
Yeah, I totally agree. On me, it was the same. So I would say it's kind of in the pore range. So it's really close to you. So this is one of those scents where you're going to smell it for a long time, but others might not. So
sure, that
can be a good thing, depending on your perspective. Season, I think this works great for spring in particular, but also I think it could work on summers, particularly at nighttime. And I do think it could work in the daytime as well. And purpose, I would say this is best for casual.
I don't think it's a nighttime fragrance.
Yeah.
That's honestly my honest opinion with it. I don't think it's a very good nighttime fragrance. I don't think that compositionally it's the best sort of nighttime fragrance, and not just that, but longevity. The projection. I mean, if you go into a club or whatever at night, this fragrance is going to get battered into submission by its peers, by stuff like 1 Million or Invictus or stuff like that.
All right, so George, what does this remind you of?
Man, this is a really weird mixed bag of a fragrance. One of the big things that this reminds me of is bleach.
Really?
Yeah, or like a real strong cleaning product type smell, either like a detergent or like window cleaner. And when I first smell it, I'm like, oh man, this is depressing. But then as it goes along, it does have something about it, and I do recognise a few elements of the original Hugo Boss worked in with this kind of like more sort of darker, maybe a little bit of a woodier kind of a smell. So I have super mixed feelings on this, but the one thing that is true and consistent is that it does have this very strong, very abrasive and almost slightly offensive kind of cleaning product smell, which I don't think is intentional.
Yeah.
But I just get that and I can't get it out of my head.
I actually do not get the cleaning reference, but I do see where you're coming from, because this is very fresh, and I was expecting it to be a lot darker from the name and from the bottle. The bottle is really dark and like a dark purple or dark blue, almost black. And I was expecting it to be a lot like that. But instead what I got was a very almost body spray like smell with what I get lime, and I get like violet. I mean, obviously they're not in the notes, but you could say they were, and I would totally believe you. And some on Fragrantica, they even put lavender on there as one of the notes, and I could see that too, I guess.
Yeah, it's kind of like, I get that there's like a fruit, but it's poor effort fruit, right? Really super low effort, kind of like, I guess it's the apple from the original Hugo Boss Bottled, and that is so plastic, so synthetic, so it smells as though like you've had apple and you've put it in a container, like a plastic container, and then the container's melted. Right? It's really harshly fake. But then you get rid of that, as that can sometimes die down. there's good fragrance in here, because there's this kind of, like what you said, like a bit of a musky, violety, a little bit of a woody, I wouldn't say too much, kind of a smell. It's a bit of a Frankenstein's monster in a way. In there somewhere is a good fragrance and a good idea, but I think that it's very poorly done. And like Hugo Boss Bottled is synthetic, and Hugo Boss Bottled Oud is synthetic, but it's handled so well that it isn't obtrusive.
Yeah.
Right? It isn't in your face, but there is one note or a couple of notes that is, cleaning, vacuum cleaner.
Okay.
I get a vacuum cleaner kind of a smell as well. If you want to go on a night out and you're, I don't know, a maintenance worker or so, I don't know. I don't know what this is for. But yeah, I get a huge, heavy, domestic kind of thing.
I agree with you. Like it's not a bad scent, but it's just that the direction is a little bit not 100% there. I don't really get much of a connection to the original Boss Bottled. I kind of think that it has almost nothing in comparison to the original Boss Bottled. I mean, literally nothing. And then once you say that there's like an apple note in there, when I smell it, I can almost smell like a green apple type thing way in the background. One of the serious fragrances, they're not very popular, but one of them has a
Maybe
green.
they're too serious.
Yeah. Why so serious? So in one of those fragrances, one of them is a very musky, almost sour apple type of smell. And I can almost get hints of that in here, like that type of musky apple smell. But it's way in the background. But really what this really reminds me of, it really almost reminds me of a 100% copy of an Axe body spray. And I actually don't mean that in a bad way, because I think this is like a gateway fragrance in some ways. Like if you were to smell this and you really liked some of the Axe body sprays, you would really like this because it's a much better version of some of those type of scents. Very citrusy on top, and then once it dries down, it becomes a little bit more generic. It becomes like that generic woody kind of musky scent. Not totally bad, but the opening to me is the best part, with that fresh, almost citrusy, like I said, almost violet-y type of scent.
Well, that's kind of odd because I would disagree. I think the opening part is the harshest to me. I kind of get what you mean. It has that that very laboratory, chemistry set kind of a smell. I do get the apple. In fact, that's one of the sort of the main problems with me. But yeah, it seems to have all of the problems that the Hugo Boss range has, but all of the other Hugo Bosses, or some of the other Hugo Bosses, they're able to hide their tracks with the synthesis and the artificial nature of them. But this feels as though there wasn't that much of an attempt made to hide anything or to make anything smell sort of remotely genuine.
Interesting note about the ingredients. It lists Luro Amarello wood, which I've never heard of. So I looked it up, and it says it's a wood found in the Amazon rainforest, which, I mean, God forbid we use a fragrance that is taking away the Amazon rainforest. No doubt it's not real, but still, come on. Who has ever smelled a tree from the Amazon rainforest?
I don't know. It's just gimmick. That's just a gimmick, isn't it?
Yeah. So ultimately, I think that's about all the thoughts I have about this. I think it's okay. I think it's a decent, fresh fragrance, and it has some interesting qualities about it. I actually don't hate it. I actually like it, but it's not ultimately something I would wear a lot. But to someone who is that I want to get out of body spray, I would totally recommend this to them because they would totally like it, and I would say it's a vast improvement over what they're already wearing.
Yeah, I don't hate it because I know and I respect that something has been attempted here. I mean, they could have very easily made it just kind of like a bit of a rip-off of La Nuit de l'Homme, because I find that L'Homme and Hugo Boss Bottled, although they don't smell similar, they have similar compositions and ideas. So they could have gone the La Nuit de l'Homme route, like completely, but you know, credit to them. This is unique, but not necessarily in a good way.
I do see your point, though. I do think that is a point that is good for them, that they did not copy La Nuit de l'Homme, even though they put their toe in the water and put cardamom in there.
Yeah, well.
Bang for buck, this is $35 for 100 mil. And overall, I mean, that is a really good value, especially for something that lasts so long and is generally likable. I think that is a good value. It just depends, obviously, if you really like it. If you've been into fragrances for a long time, this might not be something that you would really pick up, but still, it's a good value. Now, what about compliments? Did you get any compliments with this?
Not really, no. I think that one of the problems is that nobody can really, you know, that longevity is there, but the projection isn't. It isn't like an attention grabber.
Yeah.
You know, it's sort of nestled in there. And you know something, I don't want to be completely horrible, but a couple times I even forgot I was wearing it.
Yeah, I totally agree. I didn't really get many notices as well. My wife, she smelled it, and she liked the fresh aspect at the top, but didn't like the dry down at all. And I mean, she liked that it wasn't strong, so.
Yeah.
But other than that, I didn't really get any notices. And I think, to your point, I think that's the reason. Projection just really isn't there. Now, final rating, what do you give this?
I do not hate this fragrance, but the vacuum cleaner, bleach, Mr. Sheen, whatever thing is a bit assaulting. If I was completely honest with myself, I cannot give this really, you know, also with the performance problems as well. I'm going to give this a 2. 2 out of 5.
I'm going to give this a 3 out of 5.
Okay.
I actually, when I wore it, I liked it, but it's not groundbreaking, and it does smell a little run-of-the-mill, but overall, it's still a likable fragrance, in my opinion.
Sure.
So that's all we have. Let us know if you tried Boss Bottled Night down in the comments down below. Do you like it, love it, hate it? Let us know. And of course, if you haven't already, please like and subscribe down below. We'll love you for it. And I'll have a link down below to George's channel, Fragrance Apprentice, where you can go and like and subscribe to him as well. Thank you again, George. Always a pleasure having you on.
Thank you so much, David, for having me.
So that's all we have. We'll see you next time. We're the Fragrance Brothers. Bye. Thanks everyone for watching. If you like this video, don't forget to check out my other channel, Beast Made Reviews, where me and a friend review high quality products for men. You might like it. Go check it out.